Welcome into today's broadcast right here at Cog Hill Farm. Now, Peaches wouldn't let Nugget into the house for this episode, so here's Jason, Brooke, and our chicken master, Marycarl.
What is up, everybody? This is another episode of the Cogcast Podcast, the Homesteading Podcast on YouTube, Facebook, and every other podcast app there is out there. This is episode number 30. This is Jason and Brooke, a.k.a. Mrs. Cog Hill. Marycarl, the chicken master, is taking a break. Matter of fact, she's downstairs FaceTiming one of her buddies, and there's some serious chicken talk going on downstairs right now.
Well, I will tell you that she highlighted the questions that were for her. She initialed her name beside it, the one she was supposed to answer. We've been outside. We've actually been planting some tomatoes, and Marycarl helped us, and she came in and she started FaceTiming her little friend Piper. And I said, Marycarl, you about ready to do the podcast? I think I'll sit this one out. As she and Piper are just girl talk.
Chickens, though.
Well, incubators. Chickens.
Yes.
Whatever else they
I heard
think
Marycarl tell her that she needed a something Sudan or Houdan.
And Piper's wanting to know what the best incubator to get is. Piper has chickens, but she's never hatched her own.
Ah, okay.
So she has a little money saved up, and she's trying to figure out what kind of incubator would be the best.
I got you.
Marycarl's trying to help her make a decision.
So that's
we
big
offered
time.
for her to borrow one that we have stored away.
Yeah.
I don't know why we have it stored away, believe it or not. But no, Piper wants her own incubator.
Well, good for Piper.
Marycarl's been telling me all week that Piper's got the bug, and every time she tells me that, I say, "Well, is it the stomach virus?" She's got it bad. And then she tells me that she thinks that Piper is really getting into chickens. So
Piper's got the chicken bug.
The chicken bug. She knows how bad that bug can be. So
Yes, she does.
I don't know how. But if y'all don't notice, I have on this awesome shirt that
Check this out.
some fans sent us, and it says, "Sorry, I'm late." I believe it says I saw a tractor.
That's what it says.
And
it's orange.
And the shirt is orange, so it fits perfectly. Thank y'all so much. I believe their name were Tammy and Tommy, if I'm not mistaken.
You think?
I tried to send them a thank you note. However, it did not have all the information needed.
I got you.
Thank y'all for the shirt if you're
Thank
watching.
y'all.
If you're not watching, I like the shirt.
It is cute.
This is
Fits you
going
perfect.
to be a question and answer, and then talk about the
Recap.
last videos.
Mm-hmm.
And we did remember what the videos were.
And I even have them pulled up here, too, in case we forgot.
We're getting more organized, and it's not because we have more time, because we literally, I told Jason, I said, I've got to take a quick shower because I have dirt all up under my fingernails from planting. Jason didn't have time to take a shower, but he did wash his hands.
I did get a blister.
He did, and I finished helping him dig, so I've got a few callus coming up, but nothing like you do.
We did finish out the garden. That
Well,
should be in a video this week.
I will say we barely beat the sunlight. As I was walking home,
beat the sunlight.
I was in the dark, so
Yeah.
So we're kind of late nighting it, and that's okay. I like to talk, if y'all hadn't figured that out.
I think people know that by now.
You
don't
think?
they? Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't do this 20 years ago.
I know it.
I don't think
it.
anybody would listen to me, because I don't know what it would have been about then.
Wouldn't have been about tractors and chickens and stuff like
it
that.
Sure wouldn't have. But that's okay. That's what we are now, and that's where we're going to be.
That's right.
So,
That's right.
Hope y'all enjoy it, and will continue to join us. Keep those questions and answer.
Questions coming. Oh, well, yeah.
Keep those questions coming, and we'll keep videoing to answer some questions about what we've been doing. So,
Right.
yeah, that's kind of where we are. You want to talk about questions first? You want
We'll
to
just
talk
go
about
over our
video?
videos real quick. We had our last week video. Is that a giant rat or something else? It looks like it was unanimously that was a possum, which I was kind of leaning towards.
I'm gonna tell you, when you called me over when I was getting the lawnmower ready to be loaded back up, you interrupted me and you said, "Brooke,
I did.
think we got something."
Yep.
Well, I came a running, and when I first saw that, it was huge.
It's a
in case
big
y'all
possum.
didn't realize it, I thought it was a giant rat because
Game cameras are not because it's moving.
Well, I
So it
bet
could be
there are
blurred,
some of
so-
them that are real good
I'm sure
quality.
they are. I'm sure they are.
However, ours are just basic, and so
Yeah.
they're just catching, the
But they're way more advanced than they used to be. My
I
gracious.
can remember when we built our house.
Yes.
Your daddy
He
told
had
us to
one.
get a game camera. Remember?
That's right.
I don't even remember buying the thing.
I don't either.
But
we
I
had one.
remember sticking it on
And
the
it
tree.
was so difficult.
It was. It was not anything easy.
Nothing like it is now.
So this was kind of our expectations. We were kind of thinking it was not going to be as easy as it was. And
It was easy.
It was easy.
It was easy.
Well, I mean, I didn't stick the SD card in and make all
yeah, it
that
was
stuff
easy.
come up. But I do know how to get it out. Jason
And you
was
know how to cut it on.
surprised. And I know how to cut it
I was
on.
surprised you could get the SD card out. I'm not going to lie.
And y'all know why I had to get it out? Because where the camera was located was in the barn near the rats. And he stayed at the door and said, "Are you? You can just bring the whole camera if you want
I did tell you to bring the whole camera.
And I was thinking about it while I was trying to get that SD card
Oh,
out.
my gracious,
And I
yeah.
figured out that you didn't want to come over there in that corner.
I'm still a little nervous of the rats. There was a lot of people said that they think that possum was pregnant.
Well, she was something, and I
She's
say
big.
she because that
She's
thing,
big.
if y'all didn't see that video, you might want to go back and watch it.
Yeah.
My first thought was that's a rat. When I saw
She's-
it, when you called me over and I looked at it, I thought it was a rat.
Yeah.
And that leads me to think that what I saw initially
Could've
when
been
I
a
was
possum.
in the barn could have been that.
Could have been a possum.
I just had in my mind it was a rat. It never crossed my mind that it was anything but a rat
Right.
because it was up in that pipe.
And that pipe's pretty big, and that thing would fit right in it. So, and it could have been. It could be several. Could have been several.
Well, I'm not
possums.
scared of them, and we're not going to hurt the critter. Don't
No,
think
we're not going
that.
to hurt the possum.
We're glad that she's there. If she's, chose that to have her babies or feels safe in there and, wants
And
to
we have
occupy
possums
our barn.
here.
We do
Yeah,
have
we
possums
got possums here.
Now,
So
we do know that they will eat chicks.
They
We
will
know
eat
that they
chicks.
will eat eggs. We know
Mhm.
that they will kill a chicken
Yes.
if their food is
Yes.
scarce. So, when we get over there, we might end up having to relocate her if she's still there. But we're not going to kill her. We're not going to cause her any harm.
we're not going to do anything like that.
So,
And
as far as
suppose-
I'm concerned, she's there to stay.
Supposedly they eat a bunch of ticks.
Oh, I'm sure they do.
That's supposedly.
And there is no doubt in all that grass.
yeah. Oh,
there
there's
are
ticks.
ticks.
I wish they'd eat mice and rats.
Well,
They might. I haven't even looked that up. I'm just going by all the comments because we got a mess of them about how beneficial they were, that they don't typically bite, they hiss, and all that kind of good stuff.
we
that-
know about hissing. We have
Yeah.
an emu, and he does
He
that, and he
hisses.
doesn't scare me one bit. So,
But
if you got a Tyrannosaurus Rex hissing at you,
you.
possum ain't nothing. I can handle this.
So, I don't know. I might have to look that up and see if they do.
Eat rats?
Eat rats.
Well,
and
I
mice.
don't know because they sure are sharing their house with some. We have seen lots of little mice and rats
We
running
have
across
seen-
our
oh yeah,
camera.
a lot of rice and mats.
We know we got rice and mats. And we're going to let them stay there too. How about that?
Oh, that's
Okay,
right.
so our owl was not there.
She's been there twice. The 2 times we went in there. Now we went in there this weekend one time, and she wasn't there.
And we
But-
call it a she because,
We think she's nesting in there.
yeah, that would be our thoughts
Yeah.
is she's nesting. But you know what else she could be doing?
She could be
Feeding.
She could be feeding too. I didn't think about that. She could be feeding
just
in
feeding.
there too. Yep.
And I don't think she's gone. I think she just wasn't in there
Yeah, I
at
think so,
our
too.
time
Yeah.
because, if she was sitting on eggs, she'd be in the same spot every time.
Yeah.
She hadn't been.
And we didn't see her.
And we weren't spending that much time in there either.
No, and we didn't look really hard for her.
there's
She's
no
in
lights.
that back corner. Yeah, there's no lights. And
No
so
lights. So we're going by phone light, and as y'all know, that's not the brightest.
They're not the greatest thing in the world.
So
That's why I stay out of that back corner because I can't see back there.
well, you pretty much stay out of the whole barn. I did offer this weekend. I said, "Well, y'all want to start cleaning up the barn then?" And Jason didn't say a word.
No, well, I tell you, we have a bad habit, and it's me too. We get like on our property. We had started on the fence row. The first thing we started cleaning the fence row up, and then you bush hogged, and then when you're bush hogging, I had Marycarl, and then me and her were playing around and piddling and stuff because she's 11 years old, so I mean she
You got to
don't
keep her occupied.
I gotta keep her occupied, and she does let me do stuff too. And so I'm piddling whatever. So we got away from the fence row. Then we got back on the fence row. Then we got back off the fence row. And I thought, we still need to finish the fence row cleaning. So why go back to the barn? And the fence row's still like 60% clean.
So you're saying that we have a tendency to start something and not finish?
Yes, we do.
Well,
we do.
Maybe we need
to finish, but we just kind of get sidetracked.
Well, you know how we're getting more organized about the podcast?
Yeah.
Maybe we ought to start making a list of our projects we've started and checking them off.
I would love to do that. I got an idea that I'm going to put a notebook in different places.
Because we won't know where that notebook is.
In the house.
It's going to have to be somewhere permanent.
Because a lot of times we have an idea like, let's do a podcast about this, and we don't write it down.
Marycarl told me some things today, and I bet you money, even though she has a fantastic memory,
she don't remember.
I bet you she's going to say, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's why I'm thinking we need to put a dry erase board in the kitchen.
And just let everybody write down something
idea
different.
down.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
And we could also dry erase it when it's done.
That's right. Or a notebook, whatever y'all want to do.
So
we're trying to be more organized.
What was the other video was Nugget.
Oh, Nugget helped me on the farm. I
have a dry throat tonight. I'm sorry. I will have a sip of your Bragg's apple cider
vinegar
prebiotic. Your daily source of wellness.
Yes, they are actually a sponsor of the podcast now.
That's good.
And we've been using Bragg apple cider vinegar.
Right here because I'm unaided.
And what's funny was that you asked, because this is going to be a question, is that I get asked all the time about apple cider vinegar in our waters because they see me put it in there. And we do use apple cider vinegar in our chicken waterers, and we use 1 tablespoon per gallon, but I don't do it every time.
And Bragg has the apple cider vinegar with the mother.
It's organic. It's got the mother, and that is what you want because there are some imposters out there.
You do not use flavored apple cider vinegar.
There's fake ones out there, and you have to watch it because you have to read the fine print.
It's not the same thing.
But Bragg's is the go-to when it comes to apple cider vinegar. And everybody, if you don't know, apple cider vinegar is good for the immune system, and it's good for your chicken's immune system. And so a lot of people like to take apple cider vinegar for themselves, but apple cider vinegar can be strong. So Bragg's now has all these other things. Now they have, this is the one I like, is the Refresher, which has prebiotics in it. And this one is ginger lemon honey, which is the one I like. And they got all different types of flavors of these. They also, now look, I got this written down so I would not mess this up because they have 2 other new ones that are out that are, let's see, you got the shots, which is like a little shot.
Oh.
It's a shot of flavored apple cider vinegar. It's
I thought I got to give you a shot.
No.
I was all kind of excited. I've been practicing on chickens for a long time, and now I'm
ready to give me a shot?
Give me a shot.
But no, it's apple cider vinegar, and it's a shot. And it gives you your daily dosage of apple cider vinegar.
So you just go,
and
that's what you're done?
And you're done.
Well, let me tell you this. I know you're in the middle of reading something, but we have some friends that own a local grocery store. And he is getting up in age. I'm not going to say he's old. He's not old, but he doesn't get sick very often. And so one day he was commenting to me. This was long before this.
Yeah, way before all this.
And he commented to me that he takes a shot of Bragg's apple cider vinegar every morning. Not the one that they're creating for you to take the shot for.
Yes.
But he said that he stays healthy, and he said I don't ever get sick, and he complimented on the Bragg products because I was there buying it for our chicken water,
right? And
he said it works. It works. He said because I ain't been sick in, I don't know what he said, 40 years, and he didn't mean like not sick. You have colds and little things, but not sick.
Not sick.
And he complimented Bragg apple cider vinegar.
I think he took a teaspoon or tablespoon, just a little shot.
It was more than what I could consume of just pure.
And it's stout. And that's why they come out with this other stuff.
And so he started stocking this stuff. Well, that's where I got this from.
That's where we got this from.
And I was wondering if he had decided that vinegar was a little bit too stout, plain, and started getting the flavored kind.
Because you got the shots, and the shots come in flavors too.
He doesn't have those yet, but I bet he's on his way.
Carrot ginger, pineapple cayenne. And then the refreshers come in a ton. We'd be here all day if I listed all of them. There's a ton of flavors in these.
Well, he stocks a bunch of them.
He does.
And I'm wondering if that's got something to do with it.
I bet it does. And they got one called Enhanced Apple Cider Vinegar, which is apple cider vinegar, and it's got other flavors in it like tart cranberry, cranberry apple.
That would take that.
It takes the edge. It's not as stout. And you can still get the benefits of it.
When he told me that, I came home and I tried to get tough and muster down a tablespoon because I thought if it helps him, then it's going to help me too.
Right.
And I couldn't do it. I just couldn't take the plain apple cider vinegar.
Right.
But when it's flavored, it's a totally different story. So
it is. This is good. This is really good. We've been drinking these, so
we're not just saying that.
We've been drinking these before Bragg's reached out to us.
Yeah, that's the God honest truth. Because we had talked to Dave about it.
Yeah.
I bet I know it's been 5 years.
Yeah,
I know it's been 5 years.
And these are pretty new here, but we've been drinking these for a couple of months.
Yeah.
And then Bragg reached out to me a couple of weeks ago.
Especially with all the sickness and stuff that are. You can never hurt to boost your immune system a little more.
That's right.
Interesting.
But they do got a promo code. I want to get this right because all promo codes are different. And I do want to get this promo code right. But you get 15% off if you go to their website, which is, I think it's bragg.com. I'll put all this below in this video.
Well, I'm fixing to write it down so you don't forget.
And it is bragg.com, and that's got 2 G's on it. And the promo code is cogfarm15, and that'll get you 15% off your first order.
So you can order these drinks online.
On their website.
And the shots and whatever.
And the shots. You can look at all the flavors.
Add the Bragg link, Jason.
I'll add the Bragg link.
Because
you
if
writing
not,
that down because I'll forget.
Yeah. Well, and that's another one of our organization tools is to have a pen handy and a piece of paper so we can write down so we won't forget. Okay. So back.
But 1 tablespoon, and I don't put it in their water every other time. I put it in the chicken water about every other time or every third time.
Well, you said I don't put it in there every other time.
Oh, I meant every time. I'm sorry. About every other time or every third time. I don't give it to them every single time.
And I've gotten to where when I'm helping Marycarl fill hers up, I have a tendency to put it in there too because I know it's good for them.
It's good for them.
And it's, you know what else it does?
What's that?
It keeps those waters from getting slimy.
It keeps them clean.
Because I don't care. I mean, we clean our waters out every single day.
That's right.
But it does get a slimy film on it to where if you don't scrub it out,
that's right,
rinse it with a washcloth every time or a brush, then, but that apple cider vinegar will prevent that.
It does.
Don't use it on stainless steel.
Don't use it on galvanized waterers. It'll rust them out.
Yep, it will. We learned that the hard way. All right, so back to our video recap.
Yes.
Nugget. Jason, your battery's going dead.
I know it. I got another one. I'm just waiting till it goes completely dead.
Well, then we're not going to realize
my other one's not charged up all the way.
Okay.
It was at the farm.
Okay. So, Nugget helping you. Where was I?
Y'all, that's when we worked real late at the farm and you and Marycarl slept in a little bit.
Okay. Well, I knew that it was just you and Nugget in the video, and I couldn't figure out where I was. But
yep, that's what it was.
I didn't leave him.
No, y'all had slept late. Yep.
You're such a nice husband and daddy.
I don't sleep.
Take care of your girls. So did he help you or did he not?
He doesn't. Well, he helped me. He makes me laugh. So that helps me. I wasn't expecting much, but he does make me laugh. And it's one of my favorite videos, really. I
remember you telling me in the beginning that it was kind of slow taking off. He can see the
Actually, yeah, because this was not going to be the theme of the video. It was going to be more of us harvesting the carrots and freeze drying the carrots, but then Nugget was just being
And when you got finished with it, finished making the video,
I was so happy with it.
You said, this is a really good video. I like it a lot.
I like it a lot.
And so he published it early Saturday morning.
7:30 a.m. I was so excited.
On YouTube. And so he gets to see, how the video's doing compared to other ones.
I did.
And it didn't start off real fast. It was kind of slow compared to other ones.
It didn't start off, and then I had a lot of people tell me that I know that they didn't get a notification that I posted videos. So
y'all
I don't
let us know.
Yeah.
Let us know if you got a notification or if you did not about the nugget helping video.
Yeah, and I do plan on starting to send out an email. We'll try it like every Sunday to give everybody, a recap of the 2 videos and the 2 podcasts, and that way you can check it out in case you miss one.
Links.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Nugget didn't help you very much.
Didn't help me very much. It was fun, but we did harvest all our carrots, which I was shocked how great they turned out.
They did.
I thought it was going to be a lot more ones that were rotten than it was, but it wasn't. But we're still 65%. We probably only got 35 or 40% of our carrots. The rest of them were no good.
Well, I'm going to tell you something.
We still had a mess of carrots.
Before we got the freeze dryer, we had the carrots in the ground.
Yes.
We didn't know that we were going to get the freeze dryer. And we also didn't know what we were going to do with our carrots. If that we had a lot of carrots anyway. But if we didn't have that freeze dryer, what would we have done with all those carrots? We don't have a root cellar.
I don't have a root cellar. I would have kept them in the fridge. Last year, unwashed carrots, because you don't want to wash your vegetables if you're going to keep them for a while. That keeps them from spoiling as fast.
It's kind of like taking that bloom off an egg, I guess.
It is. It's really similar to that. The carrots lasted quite like maybe 4+ weeks in the refrigerator.
But
I can't remember exactly how long, but it was longer than what I anticipated.
Well, we harvested 7 plastic
full
Walmart bags
full, yes,
full of carrots. Dave's Market bags. I'm sorry, not Walmart.
Dave's is our local grocery store.
Yeah, Dave's is who the apple cider vinegar
That's right.
came from. That was a lot of carrots. I don't think we could have eat 7 grocery bags in 4 weeks.
It was a lot of carrots.
So what do we do with them?
We freeze dried them.
We freeze dried them.
We did.
We turned lemons into lemonade.
We did. And they turned out awesome. Our first batch was thicker and uniform and looked pretty. And then you had the idea. We got a veggie slicer that goes on our KitchenAid mixer. KitchenAid, sorry.
KitchenAid.
And
you do a lot of cooking, don't you?
It worked perfectly, except they wasn't uniform. They were all different shapes and sizes. Well, we didn't care. We're not trying to press anybody.
Well, I tell y'all what, I have a KitchenAid mixer that I had that my mom bought me years ago.
It's old.
Years ago. It's been on my counter forever. I use it all the time. But a couple of years ago, I was in the Goodwill store, which if you pay much attention to me, I love thrift stores. I love Goodwill. And they had the attachment that is the shredder chopper.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what it's called? And it was $5.99, and it was brand new in the box with all the parts, with the manual, sealed up. And so I bought it, and I thought, I might not ever use this, but it's been in our cabinet.
Yes.
And last year I used it when I made squash relish.
That's right.
Remember that?
That's right.
We also did zucchini.
That's right.
And we shredded it and put it in that squash relish because zucchini's in the squash family. Yep. And so Jason, I don't know what I was doing. I went to the grocery store or something, and he and Marycarl were doing the first batch of carrots.
Yes. We did. Me and her did it. I
don't remember what I did. But anyway, so he's slicing away, and it's time consuming.
It is time consuming.
To slice off,
and
we had 7 grocery bags.
Yes.
So, time really wasn't our friend as far as you can get a lot of stuff in that freeze dryer.
It is very, very
efficient would be the word.
I guess because I said it in the video too, but the pans are so narrow that it fools you, but they're really long. And we got all those carrots, one bag of carrots.
Bag of carrots, Jason.
Oh yeah, forgot we've been eating them. This is what they look like.
Well, it was more than this in the amount.
We've been eating them.
Okay, this is the ones that we did Jason did by hand. Jason?
No, these are the sliced ones.
What?
See all the regular sizes?
These came from.
See how the irregular sizes?
Mixed up.
Some of them cut perfectly.
So
and they're so good.
Well, I thought it was the uniform slices. Those are pretty.
These are pretty. And you see the veggie slicer does them all.
Man, they're good.
For the most part. But they turned out wonderful.
So what we did was we put that KitchenAid attachment on the mixer, and first you were just doing one at a time. Well, then we started adding a whole handful of them at one time. Well, you don't have to do it. You just push down.
Yeah, it goes fast. It's fast.
We had carrots sliced in no time.
Nothing.
I mean,
just piled them up on the trays too.
Well, we didn't know how it was going to work, but we said, hey, what's the worst thing that could happen? I'm not be completely dried out, and we add more time.
Mm-hmm.
So we did it, and lo and behold, that's the way to go.
It is. It worked out wonderful.
And I'm sure that we're going to do everything that can be freeze-dried that way.
I think so.
I mean, zucchini,
I think
whatever.
So. I think so.
It was so easy.
It's so easy.
Somebody suggested that we take potatoes and make them into hash browns.
Ooh, that's a good idea.
And freeze them in little patty sizes.
That is a good idea. Now, my
we
buddy,
could run those to the shredder and pile them up and
our buddy Wes at the Naked Hog just got his freeze dryer, and he's done milk,
really,
goat milk, and he did leftover chicken soup.
Huh. Well, he's ahead of us then, isn't he?
Yeah, he's doing some crazy stuff over there.
Well, we did some crazy stuff. We did bananas and pineapple.
We did, and I've eaten all the pineapple just about.
Yeah. I like the bananas best. Jason likes the pineapple best.
I literally have eaten it, almost all of it.
So a whole pineapple, one pineapple, did 2 trays.
Yes.
That was a lot of pineapple. It was a whole mason jar full of pineapple.
And it's almost gone.
It's almost gone. So, I mean, you got to know that you're consuming a lot of more fruits than you normally would if you're eating a whole mason jar of pineapple.
Here lately, I've been taking whatever we got, the strawberries, the carrots, the pineapple. I even took bananas. Took it all. I take it to work, and I hardly eat even lunch. I just eat that all throughout the day, and I just don't even.
It's no preservatives.
It's awesome.
Somebody asked if you could add salt to your food before you freeze dry.
I'm sure.
Well, in my opinion, the things that we've done, you don't need to.
Yeah, you don't. No, not the fruit.
You don't need to.
No,
and not the carrots either.
No.
You don't need any salt. I mean,
I guess like mashed potatoes, you would if you wanted to.
Oh well, I mean, what I plan to do is cook it the way I would normally cook it.
Yes.
And
add
then
a little salt
freeze
to it.
dry.
That's what I think. Yeah.
But that was one of our questions: can you add salt to the food before you freeze dry?
Sure, you can do whatever you want to it.
I don't think it matters.
It's not gonna matter at all.
Because it comes out tasting exactly the same way.
Yeah.
As what it would. How about the reset? You want to wait a minute?
I'm gonna wait till that sucker goes dead.
Okay, this question's for you.
Yes.
Speaking of the freeze dryer.
We had a lot of questions about the freeze dryer.
We did, because we realize it's an expensive investment.
And it's a cool new machine that a lot of people don't know anything about, including us.
Well, we don't know anything about it, but I know one thing. I like it, and it's easy.
Right.
Okay, so we're going to start at the top, because if not, we're going to get mixed up.
Just don't get mixed up.
The question is, what are you doing?
Looking for it.
Oh.
The oil.
The question is about changing the oil in the freeze dryer. Okay.
I had several questions on this too.
Here's the number one thing.
Okay.
Do you have to buy expensive oil?
No, you buy vacuum pump oil. And this is it. Ours came with 2 bottles really, and we put the first one in it, and this actually says mineral oil on it. So you make it do your research on that. But this is Harvest Right's high vacuum pump oil, high volume. Well, no, high vacuum pump oil.
When you filled it up, did it take this whole?
No, it didn't take this. I overfilled it the first time. And the reason was because it's got a sight glass on the side of it. And the oil showing in the sight glass was slower than me. And I was like, I kept looking. I was like, man, a little bit more. And the next thing you know.
So it doesn't take that whole thing.
It doesn't take that whole thing. And listen, y'all, I think somebody asked how hard it is to change it.
Well, that's what they want to know. They want to know, do they need to buy the oil-free device because the oil is expensive and because it's hard to change?
I say no on the oil-free device. And here's the reason why. I am going to reset it, though, because we're fixing it out of time.
So you say it's, I guess you can hear me now.
Yeah.
It's not worth it, in your opinion, to pay for the oil-free unless you're just somebody that doesn't want to do anything?
Yes, because here's the reason why. You can go from 20 to 30 batches of food before you have to change the oil. Now, the old system before the one we got, this is the new one. It was like 5.
Well,
so that would, you may want to buy the oil
justify
free.
it. Yeah. But with this new model, I will tell you that the other day I was going to put my carrots in and it said, check oil. If you don't have a new model, then you need to change the oil now.
It's because the pump is the new design pump, and the machine is still, I think, programmed for the old. And they told me, my buddy Matt, my contact over there, said, just ignore it. But you got to keep up with it. So 20, I think it's 20 to 30 batches. Now, the oil-free one is expensive. Yeah, I mean, this one's expensive. The oil-free one is even more expensive. So, in my opinion, if you're comfortable with it, because, like I said,
you think I can do it?
Yeah, it's just got a little thing on the bottom of it, and it's hand tight.
Well,
So
I
you
will
just
tell you
unscrew it
this.
and it drains out.
When we get to the point where we need to change the oil on
I
it.
will show you how.
No, you're not
and
going to
we'll
show me how.
y'all how
You're
to
not
do
going to show them how.
it. Oh, I'm not?
I'm going to show them how.
Are you going to show them how to do it?
Because that way they know if I can do it,
Yeah.
then they can do it.
It's easy.
And I'm sure it's in the manual, probably
It
step
is.
by
Everything's
step,
in the manual.
to as to how to do it.
Yep.
And
It's all in the manual.
if you can read, then you can do it.
It's easy. Trust me. It's easy. This new machine, evidently, the one we got is, they improved it so much over the ones just recently because our friends over at Living Traditions Homestead, they have the cover that goes on the front. Because some people ask about how come we didn't put that black cover on the front of ours. Ours doesn't need it. This new machine doesn't need that black pillow.
Okay. So, Miss Kathy, that answers your question about the oil. Her husband was wanting to know, and I'm sure if he's a man, then he can change his oil.
Anybody, I promise you, anybody can change the oil in
So
this
you
thing.
think
It's
these
not
unmarried
complicated at all.
widows,
Yes.
anybody
Yes,
can-
yes.
All right. I had another question. I can't locate it right
Okay.
now, but this one person wanted to know, did they need to, here we go. Does the freeze dryer require special installation?
Mm-hmm.
They said they can't change anything in their house. They're allowed to change their light bulbs and smoke detectors, but they can't change anything else.
Nope.
So do they need to change anything to get this freeze dryer?
It plugs into a regular plug.
Regular old 110 outlet that everybody's got.
Yep, nothing special.
Unless you're in another country, you might have a different kind of outlet.
Yeah, maybe so. The pump plugs into the freeze dryer, so it cuts the pump on and off. So just one regular 110 plug. Now it does need to be on a table of some sort because when it gets through.
Oh, yeah. It needs to be
Gets through a
higher than the
cycle.
level of the drain.
Because it's got a drain on it, and you have to defrost it, and so it usually just a bowl of water is what we just.
Well, the simple explanation is the freeze dryer needs to be here
Yeah.
because there's a hose that runs down.
Yeah.
And it needs to be lower so it can drain.
Yes.
Nothing special.
Nothing special.
It could go on anything. We set it on an end table.
On an end table in
our
the
den.
den, and the pump's on the floor. So I mean, there's nothing special.
Nothing special needed. And also, how do you compare this? They're debating on a freeze dryer or a dehydrator.
Two totally different animals. What the freeze dryer does is it. This is the way I look at it. It's like freezes that, just say pineapple in time, and not only does it freeze it, it dries it. So it drops it down to 40-something degrees, and it's a totally different animal.
Not 40-something degrees.
Yeah, negative
minus.
40. Minus 40. It's a totally different animal than dehydrating. Usually dehydrating, it draws up, and I think you lose a lot of the nutrition value, a lot of the flavor. This right here, I just wish you could sample it. I don't know if you can find any freeze-dried stuff in a market nearby.
What is something that's dehydrated that I've had?
Dehydrated would be, I think we've done, what did we do one time? We did a mess of them. Oh gosh, my mind's gone blank.
We did chicken feet.
We did chicken feet, but that
didn't
wasn't
eat
for
'em,
us.
That was for our dogs, for dog treats.
What
is something
we
we've
did
done?
something one time. We dehydrated. My mind has gone blank. Did we do zucchini? If you dehydrate
We did squash.
it made chips. I mean, it
We did.
completely, it's a totally different animal.
But as I recall, the flavor wasn't there.
No, it's a totally, it's The
It didn't
flavor
taste
in
the
this
same as
is
the food that went
so
in.
concentrated. It is amazing. I just can't explain it. It's like that pineapple tasted just like the pineapple did fresh,
Well, I will tell you this.
but it was even more intense.
It was a bitter pineapple to begin with
Yeah.
because it was, you get different pineapples in different batches.
Right.
And when I'm not a fan of sour or, things that make you pucker.
Uh-huh.
And when I bit into the pineapple, I could taste the little tartness to it.
Right.
Which, I knew it was there because I tasted it before I put it in. But I guess if you were actually dehydrating that wouldn't be there.
Plus, you couldn't, like right now, if you cooked too much spaghetti,
Yeah.
we can put that spaghetti in the freeze dryer and it will freeze dry it. And we take it out. We can put it in Mylar bags. It'll last up to 25 years. Anytime in that 25 years, you can take that out, put it back in the pot, add some water, and it's just like the spaghetti was when you originally put it in there.
We're going to have to do some of that because people were asking us
we will.
to
We're
do
going to do that.
other things
Yep.
besides. But I tell y'all why we've been doing what we're doing. It's because we had to.
Yeah, we had to. We
You
didn't want
know,
to lose it.
Strawberries were in season.
Yes.
So we wanted to do strawberries while they were in season. Our carrots were in
We just harvest them.
Dave's Market
Yeah.
bags in our refrigerator.
Yeah.
We had to do something
Right.
with them. So I cook usually for 2 nights.
Mm-hmm.
And those leftovers are eaten on that second night. But I'm fixing to start cooking for 3 nights.
Yes.
And that third night can go in the freeze dryer.
That's right.
And that way we won't feel like we're eating. Nobody, nobody here would complain if we ate the same thing for 3 nights, but I feel like 2 nights is enough for the same food.
Uh-huh.
So if we can freeze dry that third night and
Right.
cook a
Right.
larger quantity.
So you can do that with a dehydrator.
No,
though.
you couldn't.
And for example, if you dehydrated meat, it would turn into something like beef jerky. If you freeze dry meat, you add water back to it, and it's just like that meat was originally.
Well, I want you to help me because
Yeah.
not that I don't know how to operate the machine. I
Right.
do. But I don't know what portions and
Right,
things like that.
right.
So I'm thinking that we should jot down on our piece of paper of things to do,
Okay.
make a video from us making the meal,
Yeah.
eating it for dinner,
Yeah.
and
freeze
freeze-drying
drying it.
Video.
And then we need to make a note of ourselves, maybe. Let's just say 3 or 4 weeks after that, let's take it out and eat it again.
Yeah, but it'll have to be a different video because
Yeah, it'd be a different video.
that's a good idea.
Yeah.
All right.
But so you couldn't dehydrate that. You can't dehydrate eggs. You take a raw egg, you freeze dry it, turns into powder, put it in a mason jar. Then, say 3 weeks from now, you want scrambled eggs or omelet. You add a little bit of water to it, and you can make scrambled eggs and omelet. You couldn't do that with a dehydrator.
Well, I tell you what's awesome about that. All right, say this time of the year, say we're getting 2 dozen eggs a week, a
Right.
day. I'm
Right,
sorry,
right,
not
right,
a week,
right.
a day.
Mm-hmm.
Come January,
Mm-hmm.
we might get 3 eggs a day
Mm-hmm.
because of the amount of light,
Right.
because of there's a lot of different variables, cold
Right.
temperatures, just things aren't perfect like they are
Correct.
right now. You could have eggs in the winter,
Yeah, you could.
so
You can eat anything you want. Mm-hmm.
that'd be awesome.
So that's kind of the difference between a freeze dryer and a dehydrator. Dehydrator totally changes the whole makeup, but the freeze dryer does, but it can go back to the way it was originally.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's awesome.
All right. This question is for me.
Mm-hmm.
What curriculum am I using for homeschooling?
Yes.
These people said that they want to homeschool next year, but they get a feeling that some of these programs that they're looking at are not legit. Well, I will tell you, I was a nervous mama.
Oh, gosh, me and her both were.
I did not know what I was getting myself into.
No.
But I knew that I had to make a change for
Yes.
my daughter, our daughter. She's yours too. Marycarl was not happy in school. And she, as y'all probably have realized, she's very bright. She's doesn't have a problem learning. She remembers everything that she hears. And in all honesty, school was boring. She did attend a school that was academic excellence,
Yes.
known for academic excellence. It was very hard.
Mm-hmm.
She never made a B. She went
No, never made a B.
all the way through 4th grade, never made a B, straight A student. But she didn't like it.
She didn't like it.
She had health problems, as you probably have watched the other podcast and knew about her autoimmune disease.
Mm-hmm.
And so she never felt good when she was in school. She never felt good. Before she went to bed at night, she would start saying, I have a headache, or my stomach doesn't feel good.
Right.
And by that next morning, she would be full-fledged sick.
Yeah.
And we contributed that to her autoimmune disease.
Mm-hmm.
She was seeing a hematologist at the time in Birmingham who advised that we could put her on shots that contained a small amount of antibiotics daily to help prevent her from getting infections and sickness. And we didn't want to do that. So we did not do that. We decided to take a step further because it seemed like during the summer she was a lot healthier.
Mm-hmm.
Well, was that because she wasn't around the kids in school to get sick easier, or was it because she was happier at home?
Mm-hmm.
So we made the decision that we would homeschool, but we did not know anything about how we were going to go about doing it.
Zero.
And I didn't know a lot of people that were homeschooling, so I didn't really know where to turn. But I started doing some research, and I did talk to those people that did homeschool, and I found out that it is easy, and I was overreacting.
At least it is in Alabama.
I was overreacting. The first thing I would suggest that you do is find out from your state what the laws are. We in Alabama can have a cover school, or we can use ourself as a cover school. We can set ourselves up as an independent school. We went with a cover school, and that just means that you are using a school that is currently operating to do their records, to do your child's filing of state necessary requirements. All I do is submit information to them, and they handle the rest.
Right.
So once I had that cover school down, I felt like I was a lot better off. But I did need to find a curriculum, and there are so many.
There are so many. Now, we did have a friend of ours that is a homesteader. That's what they do full time. And both their kids are extremely intelligent, extremely smart. Matter of fact, both of them had scholarships to the Alabama Art School in Birmingham, and both of them went.
And it's actually the owners, well, the wife owns Simply Making It.
Yes, we had a video about them one time. And
She
that's where
makes
Sassy
soaps.
Man came from.
Yeah, that's where Sassy Man came from. That's where Capri and Fifi came
That's
from.
right.
Did you forget that?
I forgot about
goats.
them.
She has milk goats. And so Miss Laura Spencer over at Spencer Farm, Simply Making It, told me about the cover school. She told me that she thought Marycarl would be better off. She thought that this was the best decision for us. And had Marycarl been happy at school, we would never have done it.
Right. But the curriculum she used was Bookshark.
Bookshark. And she liked something that was, I guess you would call it non-secular, right?
Yes.
And didn't express their beliefs, which, I mean, I feel like that's something that should be covered separately. However, if you don't and you want it incorporated in your homeschool, then there are curriculums that do add it.
Right.
So Bookshark was what we went with. Well, we didn't know what we were getting ourselves into, but I ordered the curriculum. And so I did Bookshark for everything except for math.
And I ordered, Bookshark doesn't have its own math. There's several maths out there. And if you've been looking, you've probably seen them. Math you see, Singapore, oh gosh, what was the one that was it, or that she had at her school?
I don't know.
There's so many different maths. Abeka. So I did a bunch of research, because I was going to be the math teacher.
I had nothing to do with the math. I had nothing to do with it.
And then I let Marycarl have some input in it. And Singapore was the one that was very hard. Saxon was hard, but Saxon was kind of towards what she had that she did not like at her other school. Singapore was a little bit different, and Marycarl seemed to really like the Singapore math. Singapore is hard. They had a pre-test to kind of tell us where we needed to be, and she was actually on track to be where she was supposed to be, which I was so happy about.
Because they say most children with that Singapore
be one behind,
have to go a grade behind, if not 2 grades behind.
So we went with Singapore math, and then as you got into it, you did not like the English.
I did not like the English in the Bookshark, and it was a whole lot of reading. I realized that it was a literature-based program, but being a literature-based program, it was not chicken books. It was not books about orchids.
Yeah.
It was not things that she enjoyed reading.
So it was no fun. So you changed up, and what do you got now?
Well, the English is called The Good and the Beautiful.
Good and the Beautiful.
I do like that. I do like it a lot. It is. I wanted something that was workbook based, and that's another thing is you can choose what your child. There are curriculums that are just strictly internet based.
Yeah.
Where your child sits in front of a computer and it learns from a teacher or from an instruction manual of how to do the lesson. I didn't want that. I wanted an actual book that I could pick up, and if I go camping, I can take that book with me.
Yep.
If I don't have internet, that's no problem.
Yep.
So that's what we did. We did a spiral. Is that what it's called?
It's called a spiral, and it's all you're involved in everything. And I'm involved in the math and everything.
I do too much. I will tell you that. I could probably say, here's your lesson for today, and you have at it.
Yeah.
But I want to make sure that she gets it.
Yeah.
Having one child, I can do that.
Yes.
Having multiple children, I don't know, because I can imagine that would be different. But you can do the same curriculum if your children are close in age. Like, say you have a first grader and a third grader.
Yeah.
All right. So you can share the curriculum. They can do the same thing, and you can, maybe spend a little more time with the third grader and a little less with the first. You just kind of feel around and figure out what works best for you. But I did make a mistake with the English. I didn't like what I bought. I did have to repurchase, but I said, hey, I want something that I feel like she's learning something, and she's, into it and enjoys it. I'm not saying every day's rosy.
Right.
Because there are times, oh, Mama, I don't want to do this today. I
Right.
hate this. She knows that, it's either going to school or doing homeschool.
Right.
So, I will say that it doesn't take nearly the time that I was anticipating that it would take to get through a daily curriculum.
Right. And if you do get one and you don't like it, it's not the end of the world. You can get another one and
You can
sell the
it.
one you got.
You can sell it.
They're all over eBay.
All over eBay. They're all over Facebook Marketplace.
Yes.
You can sell it. They're groups. There's Bookshark Buy, Trade, and Sell.
Yeah.
There's Good and the Beautiful Buy, Trade, and Sell. So
Yes.
I bought my curriculum new because I didn't know what I was doing. I don't have to do that next year. I can make changes. I can buy used. I feel like I'm so relieved as to have that.
Once you
behind
get
me.
that first year under your belt, or halfway through that first year, you'll feel a whole lot better, I promise.
But I will say this, had my child liked to be in school, I would not have made the change.
Right.
She didn't want to be in school. And I chose a 4-day curriculum because, as you know, we're a very busy family, and we need that 5th day to do things that we need to do. So I chose a 4-day curriculum, which is a little more crammed into those 4 days than it would be if it was spread out over 5 days. I just think that you should not take it so seriously as I did, because I worried myself to death thinking I wasn't going to do something correctly.
Yep, I did too with the math. Yep.
Now that I look back on it, I just laugh and I think to myself, that was crazy. But it's your child's future, and it needs to be taken seriously.
Right.
I'm not saying that, but I am saying that you have so much freedom, and there is no right or wrong.
Yep.
Now, I did have to okay my curriculum with my cover school, but that's just something that you'll have to check on.
Yeah, you can ask your cover school. They'll make recommendations too.
And they did tell me as long as it was a legitimate.
Right, because they never heard of Bookshark, and
They had never
Bookshark's a
heard
pretty
of
big
Bookshark. And I said to them, I said, this is one of the major curriculum. They hadn't heard of it,
Yep.
which didn't mean that they were not intelligent or anything like that. It was just some people,
right.
know different things. So just do your research. I won't tell you the Bookshark will be right for you. I won't tell you that the Good and the Beautiful English is right for you, nor is Singapore Math right for you.
Right.
It depends on your child, how they like to learn.
Mm-hmm.
What is that Matthew C? The Matthew C is more visual.
It's a lot more visual, yeah.
And you just have to know your child.
Right.
And if you make a mistake, just know that you can make a change.
You can make it, and it's easy to sell.
Yeah, it's easy to sell. So that kind of gets our homeschooling thing out of the way. Jason,
Yes.
people are wanting to know, can you sort your blogs by date with drop-down choice from oldest to newest so we can start from the beginning?
Yes, on YouTube. Now, if you're watching on Facebook, that's a totally different animal, but I do have them on Facebook and listings too. But on YouTube, if you go to the YouTube channel and you can go to, I got a playlist that says most current or most up to date or most whatever.
Most recent.
Most recent Cog vlog or Cog Hill video, whatever. You can click on that, and it's going to show you the newest one first, and it's going to go backwards. Now, there's an option somewhere in there. You can click on that, and you can sort it from oldest to newest.
Can you do that on Facebook too?
Facebook, I don't know the ins and outs of Facebook like I do YouTube. Facebook's a little more complicated because they're just now starting to figure out the video game, and they just let us do playlists on Facebook. So I do have a playlist of all our videos in Facebook.
But it doesn't cost anything for people to watch on YouTube, does it?
It doesn't cost a dime to watch on
So
YouTube.
if you want to get it in chronological order, you can go to YouTube.
Yes.
And type in Cog Hill Farm.
And go to our page.
Go to our YouTube page.
And then you can...
Not a video.
Then if you can look at videos, there's a little option that says videos, or it says Cog Hill's most recent videos. And if you click on that playlist or the video link,
It'll put them in order.
It'll put them in order from newest to oldest, and you can reverse it. There's a little option there where you can reverse it from oldest to newest.
Gotcha.
Yep.
All right. Where's the little chick that Ruby hatched? Opal.
That was... Ebony was there. Do we know the name of that? Ebony?
No. Opal is the chick's name.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, that's right.
Onyx. She's calling it Opal, but it's Ruby and Rhonda.
Ruby and Rhonda and
Hatched
Onyx was the...
And I don't know her name because that little thing is crazy as a Betsy bug.
She's still around. She's crazy.
She goes just like this. Pew,
She's
pew, pew.
all over the place.
The turkeys have nothing to do with her, nor does she have anything to do with their turkeys. She don't know who her mommy is, and she really don't care who her mommy is. She mingles with chickens.
Yeah, she's a chicken now.
She's a chicken, so she's still
she's
here.
Crazy.
She's fine.
I'll try to find her and put her on camera.
You better not get too close. How big was Nugget when we got him?
Nugget was a baby.
He was 8 weeks old.
He was probably 2 foot tall.
No.
Taller than that?
No, shorter than that.
You think?
Yeah, he wasn't 2 foot tall.
Okay. 18 inches.
Speaking of Nugget, somebody wanted to know how long did we... This kind of makes me laugh.
Uh-huh.
How long did we leave Nugget in the house before we let him outside? I'm going to tell y'all, this is funny. We had him in a tartar... trough.
Yes.
Water trough. And he had his water on one side and then his dry side on the other side. He didn't spill his water, but, you know. And when he got to when we went in that red bedroom.
You could just see his head poking. And it was one of them big, tall troughs.
He could do like this. We figured out that he could probably get out if he wanted to. And that he probably was a little cramped in his quarters. We did take him outside, you know, during the day, but...
How old was he?
When we let him out?
4 weeks? So we had him in the house 4 weeks?
Oh, I thought you meant was he 4 weeks old when we let him out?
No.
I'm sure we had him in the house for a month.
At least a month. Probably about 4 weeks.
It was making a big old colossal mess by that point.
Yeah, he started knocking his food over a lot because he's just clumsy and he was big.
And he was in a little area and it just wasn't convenient for him nor us, and we knew that he needed to move out. And I think we just put him directly outside, didn't we? Because we had been letting him go outside during the day and bringing him back at night.
I can't remember. I guess so.
I think that we just got him adjusted to him that way. I can't remember. Are we planning on installing a storm shelter at the new property?
Yes. How many times do I say it?
What?
We're about the storm shelter.
Oh, you say it I don't care what we're talking about. I was talking the other day about if we get the shell up to our house, meaning we were potentially going to build a barn dominium, then we could go ahead and move in and live there and work on it at the same time. Well, here's Jason's answer. We can have the shell up, but we're going to have a storm shelter.
We're going to have a storm shelter.
We ain't moving until we get a storm shelter. And that's not because of where we're located. It's just simply days and times have changed. Weather wasn't like this when I was little.
Don't seem like it.
I know it wasn't.
Don't seem like it.
I mean, we got Category 5 hurricanes coming through.
It's crazy.
Central Alabama.
Yeah, it's crazy. Now our decision is, and we may need some of y'all's input that know, do we do under the ground storm shelter or are these new above the ground solid steel storm shelters?
I'll tell y'all what Jason said.
About the underground one?
He said,
it's the truth though.
I wonder how you keep rats out of the underground storm shelter.
You know, I'm thinking you don't go in there, maybe once every 3 or 4 months.
So you're going to check on it every day.
I'm going to have to.
What do you do about rats in the storm shelter? Can you imagine you getting down there and not having a light except for the one on your phone and getting down there and it being a rat like this, like that one I saw in the barn? Can you imagine what you would do?
I'd tear that door up.
I know you would. It might be resistant to 250 mile an hour wind, but Jason could tear that door
I
off.
would tear it up.
We talked about this tonight in the video. It's going to come out about how do you prevent cutworms in tomatoes.
Cutworms in tomatoes. All right, I do an organic spray, and I do it right really early because with organic stuff, you want to be proactive instead of reactive because organic pesticides are not strong enough to withstand an infestation. So I do 3 sprays and I rotate them, and I do neem oil every week. So I do BT, pyrethrin, and spinosad, and they're all completely organic. But if you had to do just one, if you wanted just one, I would do spinosad, and I still would spray neem oil.
What is spinosad? Is it a powder?
Spinosad is a spray.
Oh.
It's not a powder. And spinosad has some residual to it, so it could last up to 2 weeks on your plants.
Depending on if it rains.
And these stuff here, spinosad, all these things you can harvest that day you spray it.
So you know it doesn't have any chemicals in it.
This is completely natural, and it's 100% organic, and
you
can get all that from Hoss too.
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
You can get all that from Hoss.
So you might want to put the Hoss link.
I'll put the Hoss link in there, so you can get all that from Hoss.
All right, and they said that they had used Seven Dust, they had used dimentous earth. Nothing worked.
I'm guessing Seven Dust should have worked, but I'm guessing that maybe it rained and it washed away because there's no residual Seven Dust. And once the weather comes in, it rains or whatever, it's gone. Now, the old timers used to do is they take a styrofoam cup and knock the top out of it and put it over their tomato plant because cutworms generally only hurt young tomato plants.
So does that
once
mean
they get big, they're okay. I think their worms are just too little to cut. They call cutworms because they eat through the little stem, and of course the top of your tomato falls over, and they cut it off at the ground, and it dies. I think like a greenish gray. I think they're more gray.
So what's the cup do? Prevent them from being able to
Keeps
climb?
them from they hit it and they go somewhere else.
So do you do like a plastic cup or a styrofoam cup?
Styrofoam cup, because you can get the little coffee styrofoam cups, because these are small tomatoes.
And you cut the top out of it and then stick it down on there?
I've never done that before, but that's what a lot of old timers say to do for cutworms.
But what about the dimentous earth? That's not going to help, is it?
If it gets wet, it's useless.
Okay.
Absolutely useless. Diatomaceous earth does not do well once it gets wet, period. That's dew or anything like that. If it gets that moisture on it, it's going to be useless. So diatomaceous earth is really tough. It works to some degree, but that's the downside of diatomaceous earth. Once it gets wet, it's not very wet. It doesn't work very well.
Well, that answers that. Well, I
Yes.
think that we have just about covered everything except for do we plan to use, ever thought of using a metal detector at our new land?
We do have a metal detector. It's a kid one, but it does work to some degree if it's not very deep. If it's deep, then no. But I've always wanted a nice metal detector.
We have a nice telescope that we can't use here because the trees block
that we're going to use over there, yeah.
That we're
It's
going to
be
use
nice.
over there.
It's going to be really nice. But I would like to have a metal detector. I would.
So maybe we'll invest
Maybe
in
would.
a...
Oh, there was one more thing. There were some new people that were asking about my eye. That had something wrong with my eye. Did I get something in it? Did a bee sting me? No, my left eye, I was born with a rare condition. I'm missing 2 eye muscles in my left eye. Experimental surgeries on me, but they ended up taking a piece of muscle out of my leg and put it in my eye. This was 43 years ago, and to this day, if someone's born with that same problem, issue, they do my surgery.
All right, Jason. Well, I think we just about covered everything.
I think so too.
Jason's going to make sure that he gets all of the links in there. And
yes.
Y'all keep the questions
That's
coming.
right.
Just make sure you put a question mark at the end of your question so we can sort them out easy.
Yes.
If we didn't answer it this time, send the question again because
Yes.
I look on the current podcast.
That's right.
So send your question again, and I guess
We'll catch you on the next one.
yeah, that's right.
Y'all
Y'all
be
be
good.
good.